One of the key things in our work on heritage gardening in handprint care was to ask the question, how can rainwater capture and soil moisture conservation be included in heritage food gardening? And here is a small garden in my backyard where the blue water tank was really important for the planning and setting up of the garden. But more important were the starting points in heritage, and the earliest water capture known was on the terraces of Inyanga and also by the Bokoni in Mpumalanga. But further south, the seasonal ukuGalesha of the Xhosa is one of the earliest rainwater harvesting practices that we can still find today for retaining soil moisture for the coming season. And here, if you look at the rainwater coming into a model of a garden in cross-section, then you can see that water flows right across and is an essential component of any heritage gardening for handprint care. Now, if we take rainwater harvesting in ukuGalesha and look at it in a curriculum setting, we can tune in around this being one of the early forms of rainwater conservation. And for centuries, the Xhosa experienced cycles of drought. As cattle people, they harvested imifino and grew vegetables in household gardens. Each winter season, as Orion's belt became visible in the night sky, they would put cattle into the fields before breaking ground, ukuGalesha, in preparation for the spring rains. Seasonal climate variation did not enable them to predict the spring rains each year. ukuGalesha captured the winter rainfall to aid ploughing and enable their crop germination. Now, climate change in the same area and soil moisture are really important to all of us, but we find today that most people don't grow vegetables, they get them from their supermarkets. And most people haven't, until climate change, really gone to the trouble of capturing rainwater from the gutters or using captured rainwater for gardening. And the kind of solutions that they've had is to begin to use municipal water, but the rainwater tank is an investment, but it provides water for gardening and water for emergency situations in climate change. And it's not simply a matter of using a water can for growing the plants that we love to have around our garden, but also looking at how can we conserve water. And one of the questions that we have to ask ourselves is, well, should we use a hose? Should we use a watering can? Can we get water from a rainwater tank? And all of these questions are really important for us to begin to think about climate change and soil moisture for food gardening in our area. And the purpose of this is to really try to touch the past with our memories, as we kind of are able to see that the way that the Eastern Cape used this ukuGalesha enables us to feel the future flying on the wings of our imagination. How can we ukuGalesha in our garden? How can we optimize the soil moisture for growing vegetables in our own areas?